Hi, everybody. Welcome today. This is awesome. The turnout is tremendous, and I'd like to welcome everybody. This is Inelia Benz from Ascension101.com, and we're going to be doing our Q&A today. And we're also going to be giving some information, the latest news about the Global Ascension Center. As you know, this is a fundraiser for the Global Ascension Center. And we're doing a little experiment to see, well, how does it work better to have a paid fundraiser where people have to register and have a small fee for that, or whether it's actually more efficient to raise money for the Global Ascension Center if people are given the freedom to donate whatever they want. So this is a great experiment. And so far, we actually the turnout was larger on the first call, which was a subscription call. So that's also very interesting. So I'd like to start by giving a few bits of information with regards to the center, what we've been up to for the past 2 weeks, and then I'd like to do a collective, all of us together, because there's so many of us together, either listening to this call live or listening to it after it's been published, recorded, that our energies, we can combine our energies and create all sorts of different things. So I'd like to use the opportunity today to do two things. One of them is to do a healing meditation, because a lot of people who have joined the Q&As have needed or wanted help or healing for themselves or for relatives or family or friends or situations, locations and different things. So we're going to do a very short exercise to use our combined energy to heal anybody and everybody's whatever their attention is on that's listening to or partaking in this call. And then I'm going to talk about a couple of the things that have come up with regards to the Global Ascension Center, and also give a summary of how much we've raised so far, which is awesome, really awesome. So to begin with, the news about the last Q&A, we talked about a specific piece of land that we were going to visit. And we went to see it, and unfortunately it's not the right piece of land. And there were two reasons for it. One of them is that it didn't have a direct road access. You have to go through another ranch to get to it, another piece of land to get to it. And that's really not suitable for our needs, because we want the center to be open to the public, right? To anybody to come in during the day, do their meditation, or, just bathe in that energy that's going to be there. And that's really important. We really want that to be part of the center. So having to ask permission to somebody else's to use their land or their road, their easement to come in, is not really suitable. And the other reason that it wasn't suitable was the type of soil was basically clay, which means we can't grow anything there. And part of the long-term plans for the center is so that we can become self-sufficient in as much as possible. So all the foods and water and everything that's offered at the center for visitors and members, or members as in people who partook in the foundation of the center and also support the center as it continues its life, will be from the center itself. So the energy, everything we consume is infused with the energy from the center as well. And so that would be kind of a long-term plan. And then there was also other things. I've been looking with the help of others into the path that the center is taking from the moment that I announced that I would facilitate its creation on the planet to now and beyond. And some of the things that have come up that are really interesting are, for example, that the center itself is not just in one location, but it has multiple locations all over the planet. We are indeed creating a hub and the center, and the reason why I really concentrated, now I understand, right? I really concentrated on the word center was because the one that I am facilitating personally, and with the help of everybody here on this call and everybody on the last call and everyone who has written in, who has placed their comments and energy and sent their funds, all these individuals are creating one particular center, and it appears that that's the hub. And that doesn't necessarily have to be in a large piece of land. It can be in a small location where we can coordinate then later on a type of retreat center, maybe in California, maybe outside of California, maybe not even in the United States, right? And maybe it's not just one that we will be coordinating, but many, many centers around the planet that will have the same infused energy and will be run by a core number of people who are inspired to do it, right? Inspired and completely supported and facilitated by us as well. And one of those centers has already begun. It began as soon, even probably before I even made the public announcement, but this center is a healing center, so it doesn't have the exact same energy as a hub, but it's connected to it at a very deep level, and it's being facilitated by a friend of mine, and we know him as Zany Mystic, and his name is Lance White, and he's facilitating the healing center in his own property. And other people have, and actually we've had hundreds of emails and comments that say, you know, all I needed, and this is something I mentioned in the last call as well, all I needed was this push, this validation, because I've known most of my life, or I've known for the past year, or I've known for the past 20 years that I had to, or I could start a center and a place where people could come and it would transform and support and help somehow and join with them at a very deep Gaia level, where we can join with her in her new journey. And they said, and now I'm starting it. This is the go, you know, go, start. And so we have also like hundreds of people all over the world who have begun them centers. So that's really, really inspiring. And so also one of the other things that I was looking at, and also I mentioned in the last call, was my questioning of why do we need this process of co-creation elongated through time? Why can't we, as a group, simply manifest the center overnight, right? Why do we need it to have this time-space, like the time frame? And I was looking during my meditation, and it became large, you know, like I was looking broader and broader terms, and I could see things such as fear of instant manifestation and other things at a collective level, right? At a collective level. And then one day I was sitting there and I reached the biggest, most enormous block to not just the center manifesting, but just about everything manifesting through our own free will and through our own intention. And it wasn't just about instant manifestation, but it was larger, it was huge, and I looked at it. And the words that I'm going to try and express it with is because I would like us all to look at this. I would like us all, as a group, and everybody who's listening to it afterwards, to look at this. Just look at it without judgment, right? So we're going to do a little exercise just to acknowledge it and kind of process it, but not to get rid of it, okay? Because if we process things to get rid of them, that's when we fall down, because we're actually not really embracing and reintegrating that energy, but trying to get rid of it. There's a tension, a push away energy there. So I'd like us all to take a deep breath, and you can do this with your eyes open or with your eyes closed. And we're going to go to this location where there's this huge, enormous block. The way that I can describe it is that it's very big, very thick. It has a thickness and a height, which is enormous, and a depth, which is enormous. But it is finite, so it's not like forever. It has a structure. It's structured. It's very sharp. It's like a rectangular in shape, but it could be like a wall. It feels very much like a wall or like a gate that's very big, and it's like a block, a huge block, like a rectangular in every sense. And when I look at it, it appears to be solid. And it appears to be made of fire or heat or that type of burning energy. But as I look at it, I can see that it's not really real. So we can actually go into it, stand in it. We can go above it and look at it, on the other side and look at it, below it and look at it, and all around. And that's all we want to do this way. We just want to look at it. And every time you remember it, just look at it and see it. And when I was looking at this, I've been looking at it for days and days. It's the collective agreement or program, I should say, the collective program that stops us from our full power of manifestation or full custodianship of our lives and the planet's life, our still stewardship. And but I couldn't understand where it came from or anything like that. And even though I'm asking everyone just to look at it, I would like to share some information that I received with regards to its nature, so that can help us in looking at it without resistance, without judgment. We just want to look at it, really put our eyes on it. This information came from my friend and co-worker, Mary McNabb. Mary and I, together with Lucia Renee and Victoria Moore, are doing a course in mysticism. And if you're interested in mysticism at all, it's in beyondmysticism.com. Anyway, I asked her, because she's a seer, I asked her, what is this? Right? What is this? And she immediately said, I know what that is. I recognize the energy. This is part of a program called the God Program, which basically means that it's the part where we give our power away. We give our power away for permission to do. So it's like an authority or a block where we feel as a collective, and many people have it as individuals on the planet. We feel that we need permission to do something. We need permission to live. We need permission to manifest. We need permission to be happy. We need permission to have this global Ascension Center. We need permission from something outside of ourselves. That's the program, that it comes from outside of ourselves. That permission has to come from elsewhere, from something larger than us, more divine, higher energy, better, Mother Divine, whatever we want to call it. We want to call it God or higher self or whatever, but we view it or we see it as something external, something outside of ourselves. And she also explained that this program is actually infused into our genetic makeup, into our cells. At an atomic level, it's infused at a DNA level, this program. So as we look at it as this group now live, and also everybody who is listening later on, and we have over 200 people right now and we'll have thousands by the time this gets around the internet, looking at the wall without judgment. Without judgment. And we're going to breathe in and out and just look at it. And we're going to say, wall, you're welcome here. Right? And we're going to allow it to become larger and larger and larger if it wants to. Or stay as solid as it thinks it is. And then we're going to offer the choice. We're going to offer a choice to it because it's conscious. We're going to say to this wall, as we step out of the way, source energy can come through and infuse it with light and love. And wall, you can receive it. And the other choice is to leave our collective, to leave the human collective, to leave all of ourselves, all of the people of the planet who have this program, to leave them. That's the other choice. It has two choices. Either to be infused and become light and love and endless possibility and completely unbound, dissolve into oneness, dissolve into light and love. And we embrace it. Or leave. And I can feel resistance from many, many millions, billions probably of individuals on the planet because they're not ready to step into that space. And that's okay. That's okay. Because those individuals will be able to have their dual experience elsewhere. And it's an honorable experience. So they can go with the wall. They can go at an energetic level. They can start their experience elsewhere, where that wall will exist for them. But here on Gaia, here on planet Earth, here as a human collective, the wall has two choices. And we feel, even in our physical bodies, any resistance that's there of that program at a cellular level, the resistance is welcome here. I acknowledge you. I embrace you. I allow you to grow and express. And then maybe there'll be tears or sadness or happy tears as we reintegrate and free that energy that was stuck in that wall. We free it. So I would really like you to continue this because it's big, and some of us will be able to immediately process it, especially young people. They can do this so quickly. But the rest of us, let's do it. Let's continue this process for the next few days. Every time you think about it, just look without judgment and allow source energy to come through into the wall and give it that choice. And feel as that choice is being given to every cell of our body. So let's just sit with it for a few minutes. And as we sit with it, we also turn to our brothers and sisters, those beings and species that are connected to the planet and to us at an energetic level, at an evolutionary level, and maybe just as a neighborhood level. And we invite them also to join us in this process with light and love, and dissolve the walls in their selves too. Free that energy and reintegrate it. And all of those who really don't want to be free of this wall are free to have an experience elsewhere. But at an energetic level, that experience is already elsewhere. Thank you. Take a deep breath and open your eyes if they're still closed. And wiggle your fingers and toes to get energy and attention back into the physical body. It's really, really awesome. Thank you so much. Later on in the call, I would like us to do a healing exercise for the individuals who are here with questions and attention on personal healing, physical healing, emotional healings, situation healing, planetary healing. So we'll do that later. But now I would like to introduce to you a new friend and a new member of the Global Ascension Center team, Connie. And she's going to talk to us about a project that she's taken on as part of the Global Ascension Center. And Connie, if you'd like to unmute. Hi. We can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. So would you like to tell us all about your Creations project?
Yes. Well, first, let me just say that this meditation, Inelia, was just really amazing, and I'm still feeling the effects of that. And I can actually say that over this past week that I felt the wall, but I didn't know it was the wall. I didn't know it was a wall, but I could see it now, and I could see how thick it was when you were taking us through the meditation. So thank you for being able to have that distinction of the description of it being the wall and us clearing that now or working with that energy now. I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay, so hi everybody. My name is Connie Benjel, and I would like to thank Inelia for this opportunity today to be here with you all on the call as we're co-creating this Ascension experience together. And very excited to collaborate in this global vision with you. And when Inelia talks about the Global Ascension Center, I just get so excited. I get so excited because I'm so passionate about Ascension and where we're at right now on the planet. And I'm really excited to bring my gifts, my love, and my contribution to this project. And we know that there's so many of you that also want to contribute your gifts and collaborate in the Global Ascension Center, that we've created an avenue for you to be able to do that. And what we've called it is your creation. And basically what it is that you would be able to contribute a product or a service or an offering. Let's just say that you have created a children's book. or you've created a CD, or you're an artist, you make beautiful jewelry, or you have a video, or you have beautiful artwork, you would be able to submit your product, and then we would list that on our website, and people from all over the world would be able to make a pledge on your product or service. And 50% of the pledge would go back to you, and 50% would go to the center. And there are a few guidelines that we have for the product, is that we want them to be empowering. We want them to be beautiful. And let's see. Yeah. So is that pretty clear, Inelia?
Oh, yes. And for you to access that information and also contact Connie with your products, you can go to the globalascensioncenter.com website. Mm-hmm. And the information is on a tab called Your Creations. I think it's an absolutely marvelous, fantastic idea. And I would like to be one of the people who place a product there. And one of the product that I'd like to place is something I'm working on at the moment, which is a series of talks about, they're called the rules of engagement, they're moving into the new paradigm. And it's basically everything that's on the Ascension 101 website, but looked at in more depth, in depth. So it's no longer 101. For anybody who's not from America, or who doesn't speak English as a first language, 101 means it's used in universities here to say it's the very first course that you take at university. So it would be like the foundation course, the 101. And I think later on you move on to 201 and 301 and 401. Isn't that right? Is that how it works, Connie?
Yes, that is exactly how it works.
Right. So basically, the talks would be no longer 101, but they would be more advanced, more in-depth. So if you've already studied the entire Ascension101.com website, which has an enormous amount of information and tools, and you'd like to have a deeper discussion about it, then these talks would be the ones to get. And I'm presently working on them, recording them. I'm having somebody proofread everything, make sure that the transcription is correct, and then we're going to place it on this site then. We will be placing it as one of the products that people can get, and 50% of everything will go towards the Global Ascension Center. And also, we thought, with Connie, we thought that we could play something else there. And can you remember what it was? Sorry. There was a little, a meditation, a simple meditation that people could download. And again, maybe that meditation actually would be 100% will go towards the center as far as my own offerings would go. 100% will go towards the center.
And even as far as a service, if you have a service, like let's just say, if you're a reader or a psychic and you wanted to offer your service as a one-time service to pledge to have someone pledge for your service, that would be fine too. And under the contact page on the website, there is a form that you will be able to submit for if you have a product or a service, and you'll be able to submit that form, and then you can get in contact with me right away and we can start collaborating. What's really exciting about this is that, this is one way also for your product to reach people all over the world. And so it's just a fantastic way for all of us to unite together and collaborate in this. And and everyone can be involved in it. So it's a really fun and exciting way to do it.
Absolutely, yes. And if you're an accountant or a doctor or an architect or a gardener, do that as well. I know for a fact I need a gardener. So yeah, there's no limits on what you can offer, what gifts you have and you can offer. And yes, you will reach many, many people. I think we have nearly or about 13,000 people in our mailing list, and we will be doing a monthly connection with this offering, right? Okay. And then we also have, I think, about 14 or 15,000 people in Facebook as well, and combining the page and the profile page for Inelia Benz. If you go, Facebook Inelia Benz, you'll find it there. So yeah, it's an energy exchange, and this is what we want to create. This is what we want to do. We want it to be a co-creation, something that we put in what the love and energy and light that we feel in our own lives, and we bring it in, and we get back from the center this energy also, that pure source energy that we are connecting to Gaia. So yes, the work has already begun, and our virtual center is there already. And one of the things that one of the other co-hosts of the other course that I'm doing at the other BeyondMysticism.com, she gave me this idea, and because she mentioned something that they do she does in her work, she actually carries out virtual retreats. And I thought, oh my God, this is such a fantastic idea for us to do already at our virtual center, which already exists, the globalascensioncenter.com. We could organize virtual retreats. And what do these involve? Basically, when we register or we sign up to it, we get a packet of information with a date, right? And this is more formal than what they do, but this is what I thought we could do. We could have for example, a weekend or something where all of us who have registered for it will carry out certain things during the day, and also in freedom of whenever we can during the day. So we could have a tip, particularly the diet. We could have a diet that is facilitating our meditation during the day. So, for example, we wouldn't drink coffee and other things that bring our mind fully into line. So like perhaps a partly detox diet and joint meditations that we could coordinate. But also, we wouldn't log into anywhere, or we could do that also. We could have a meditation during the day where we all get together and have a silent meditation, perhaps. It's all something that we have to discuss and talk about. So if you have any ideas, do send it to us. And basically, we would, in our own homes, at our own pace, do something like a retreat, right? But we would be using our own homes and our own space, knowing that there would be hundreds of other people on the planet doing the same thing at the same time, it's empowering in itself, right? We could connect at a virtual level in our meditation and just hang out. So what do you think about that? And so yes, so the next thing that I would like us to do. And Connie, did you have any other input, anything else you'd like to say before we go on?
I would just like to say that people, if you have products and you already know what it is that you would like to contribute, that we can get started on that right away. We're still in the process of creating the various different things, but as Inelia said, virtually everything is already there. And we're just creating it as we go. And since this is our collaboration together, that's what it is. It needs your input, and so we're ready to go. So you can start, sending in your ideas or contacting me and letting me know what product you have or service that you would like to send in, and then I'll be in touch with you individually and let you know where we go from there. So,
Cool. Thank you. Thank you, Connie.
You're welcome.
Right. So next, I'd like us to do the healing. And then we're going to go into the question and answers because we're going to be running out of time really quickly. So I'd like us all again to get comfortable in our chairs. And if you prefer, you can close your eyes and breathe deeply. And as we breathe, I'd like us to imagine or feel the air coming in and out of our noses, both nostrils at the same time. And now, as we breathe in, I'd like us to imagine the air going into our third eye, again through both our nostrils and into our third eye. Cleansing it. Expanding it. Making it flexible, pure and clear. And now the air goes up through our nose, both nostrils, into our third eye, and down into our heart center. And now with our air comes in light and love. Light and love from Gaia. And light and love from Source. Through our nose, to our third eye, into our heart center. Filling it with light and love. And now we feel as the heart center opens up all around and the light and love expands outwards. Becoming stronger with each breath and larger. And now we're going to invite the situation, the person, the physical condition, the emotional condition, the social condition, the living condition that needs healing. And we're going to make a beam from our heart center into it. And we're going to allow the energy from Source and Gaia to flow freely into that situation without judgment, without trying to get rid of it. Simply allow the energy to flow into it and do with it whatever it needs to do. Into the situation or the person or the physical or personal condition. and also into the desire of us wanting that situation to heal. We're going to allow the light to zoom into, at a concentrated pace, into that desire of resolution without judgment. Desire to heal this. You're welcome here. And we free the energies that's stuck in that desire. We allow it to become free, to express and flow back into oneness. We embrace it. And we put our attention back on this person, situation, or condition, allowing all that light and love to flow in. If there's any holding back, any structures, any holding on, we look at it and allow the energy to flow into that too. Any resistances. Let's sit with this for a few minutes. Very good. We'd like to thank everybody who's partaken in this call live, and also everybody who's partaken in this as they listen to it later on. We are one. And we're slowly coming back into our bodies. If you feel inspired to allow that healing energy, that light and love to continue during the day, do so. And if you feel that it's done and it's time to close now, then come back into your body, acknowledge that life, that love and light energies, and breathe in and out, bringing your attention back into your body, fully incarnating into your body. You wiggle your fingers and toes to get the attention back. Touch your arms, touch the chair or the desk. Open your eyes if they're still closed. And welcome back. And thank you. That's awesome. Right. So Daniela, if we could have, if you can give the instructions for how to raise and lower one's hand, and we can start. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So to all the callers and, on Skype and phoning in, you can raise your hand to ask a question by pressing *2. And once you've asked your question, if you wouldn't mind just pressing *2 again to unraise your hand, it would be really helpful this end. So, Inelia, are you ready now to start answering questions?
Yes, and also we have the webcast that you can put in your questions there. And actually, now that I think of it, I would like to answer one right away from the webcast, if I may. This came in earlier. So basically, there's somebody asking in Spanish whether the Q&As could be translated and placed on the web. And yes, they can. We need volunteers for that, though. We can't take it on ourselves. We do have, and hopefully, I think she said she said she was going to be here. We have our French translator coordinator, our team leader, as it were, for the French website, French version of the website at Ascension 101, and she can coordinate with individuals who will translate into French, and maybe they could split the work into minutes, like from 5 minutes to 10 minutes, or from 10 minutes to 20 minutes. So it's not so heavy on one person, and then she will coordinate with everybody and put in the subtitles. I think she can do that on a video so that people can listen to it or read it in French. And in Spanish, we have a team leader in Spanish who can do this. But again, he would need help with people doing the translation, and then he could coordinate it. So yes, and other languages, we don't really have any team leaders for other languages right now. But if you feel inspired and you would like to translate it into your own language and place it on YouTube, we will definitely link to your translations. So thank you. So Daniela, could you start the question and answers?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first person to raise their hand is, calling from Skype. Their name says Bro, calling from Harrow. So I'll just unmute your microphone now.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hi. I was actually quite amazed because I was going to be intrigued and fascinating if you had actually come across regarding the rules of engagement. That was going to be my main question to ask you, but you actually mentioned it a bit earlier, so I was quite blown away.
Very good. Yes, it's coming.
Yeah, I was going to say, have you come across it? Because I came across it quite a while back, and I've done a lot of things regarding it, and it'd be just fascinating to see what you have to say regarding it.
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, this is something that I talk about a lot in the 101 website, really putting in the rules or what the changes are, or the nature of reality and the nature of our bodies, and all these things are there. But yes, this goes a little bit deeper. And the reason why I was basically requested by Source to put it out in this format, and I said, okay, I agree with that. I'll do that, and so we're doing it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. No, it's just that I thought you might be. Okay, you'll speak obviously regarding those at a later time, then, yeah. Yes,
once we have it completely recorded, transcribed, and people can download it, then we'll go into further detail on that. Yes.
Okay. No. Thanks very much for that. I appreciate
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
And the next caller to raise their hand is calling from Ventura Central. And so I'll just unmute your microphone now.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, mine is kind of a question about blending back to source and to oneness. I kind of know that you did mention that we would all eventually go back into oneness, but the thing is that I kind of wanted to explore another possibility, which is basically, could we make our own universe instead?
Well, that's a really interesting question, because one of the things that really filled me with wonder was the reason behind Source separating out of source into smaller kind of source pieces, as in singularities, individuals, and then having an evolutionary process. So, and I wondered about that, and then what the image that I received was that the physical or the experiential experience, the universe expands and grows and multiplies. And how does that happen? It's, if we look at it in a linear form, basically it expands through the individual tiny singularity becoming its own universe, right? That's how it expands. And at the same time, that larger, the singularity that becomes its own universe is also part of the source, or the potential, the source of potential existence that it came from originally, and that's how it expands infinitely and grows infinitely.
Okay, but since we came here to practice duality or experience it, have you ever heard that we actually were androgynous beings or something? And I don't know, like I heard that we're supposed to go back to them, or do we have to go back to them, or is it the same thing as going back to source?
Well, we don't have to do anything we don't want to. Each individual is an infinite divine being, and we choose what experience we have. We really do. We choose everything, all the experience that we want to have, we choose it, and we make our, guided by our higher self or through our own wishes, we decide what our next incarnation is going to be, what our evolutionary path is going to be in this lifetime, what we're going to experience at every level,
Okay, thank you, Inelia.
You're welcome. So you can lower your hand by pressing star 2 again. Yeah, thank you. And, okay, cool. Shall we take a couple of questions from the website now, Daniela?
Yeah, absolutely. So just have a look through. Sasha asks, she says, "Hi Inelia, I have a question about communication. What is the best way to communicate with those who live in a completely different reality? Are there any techniques or practices you might suggest for effective communication?"
Okay, so by different realities, that's actually quite funny, because most individuals on the planet who are asleep live in a different reality to us. And communicating with somebody who's asleep is actually very much the same as connecting with somebody who's in a different dimension. They will see you according to their own reality, right? So, and basically, we will see them at a more expanded way. We will understand them through our own reality, right? And our own awareness, expanded awareness. We will see them through that. And they will see us through their own reality. So, for example, if you're a, 40-year-old male who is working on his ascension and working for the planet and really they're happy, extremely satisfied, and you look at your father or mother or friend, and they turn around to you and says, "When are you going to get a real job and get married and give me some grandchildren?" It's like they don't see you for who you are or your true essence. They don't see that. They see you through their own reality. And in their own reality, you're their son or their friend or somebody just, who's not really living real life, as it were, So the way to communicate with somebody from a different reality, and I don't know if this is what you meant, but this also corresponds to communicating with individuals from other species, from other dimensions. Basically, there is an etiquette. One of them is to acknowledge the fact that both of the realities are different, and not to try to impose our reality onto theirs. So at an energetic level, we ask for permission to interact. And then the information we receive from them, we acknowledge the fact that it's filtered through their own reality, their own communication system, their own culture. And then we also acknowledge that we are interpreting that information through our own belief systems, our own culture, our own view of life. And after that, we open ourselves to understand and get the essence of their message. So going back to the example of the father who wants the person to get married, for example, we understand that communication as being love and a form of wanting to connect at that very intimate level of being part of the same family, right? So form of communication, the essence is etiquette, acknowledging the differences between the two realities, and then also acknowledging our own interpretation of things and releasing any attachments we have to how things should be, and acknowledging the other being's higher self, knowing that their reality that they experience is really the best thing that they can do for that evolutionary process. So I hope that answers it.
Yeah, I would say that would have answered that one, definitely.
Okay.
So, and obviously it's seeing both realities as neither is superior or inferior. That's correct.
Precisely. Yes. Thank you for that. Yes. Yeah.
That was one that took me some time to see. There's a question that's kind of to me, actually. To any late callers, I'll just introduce myself. My name is Daniela. I'm Inelia's assistant and also daughter. There's a question from someone who says they've written in 3 times asking for the Ascension course free of charge, and that they've done the conditions, but what's happening is it no longer being made available. I'd just like to say that I've had hundreds of emails. I'm still getting through them, but it's a few weeks behind. So people that have requested about 4 weeks ago are just getting them. But I am speeding up my replies, and you should have it soon, hopefully.
Yeah, and also one of the things about that also is that if it's longer than 4 weeks and you still haven't received it, check your spam mail folder, check the spam mail folder, and if it's not there, just write back and insist, because we do offer this. The conditions that this person mentioned is that you do the reconnection with money, the Spirit of Money exercise that's freely available on the Ascension 101 Tools tabs. You scroll down on the Tools section and you'll find do that for a week and then request the course. Okay?
Yeah, that's a good point, because a lot of people didn't seem to be aware of that prerequisite or stipulation.
Okay.
Yeah. A quick one. I had a question of my own about the Global Ascension Center website. Firstly, to any international people, it's spelt with, center is spelt with ER on the end in the American way. That kind of got me. And also, how much do you know about the pledging? What is a pledge, like a bid, Inelia, or does the person that creates the product also tell us the price that it should be sold for?
Connie, can you chime in and tell us about that?
Okay, I'm just going to the control panel to unmute Connie. One moment. Unless you can, I don't know if she can do it herself there. No, it's still muted.
Okay.
There we are.
Hello?
Yeah, hi, Connie.
Hi. That's a great question. What it is that, let's just say you're selling your product for $25, and if that's the amount that you're selling your product for, so that would be 50% of that would go back to you,
and 25% of that 50% of the $25 would go to you, and 50% would go to the center. And so whatever you're selling your product for, that would be the pledge amount.
Oh, okay. Oh, great. That explains it. Oh, thank you.
Daniela. Huh?
Awesome, thanks. So let's take a guest call. There's
Oh yeah, there's
yeah.
a caller from Wales raising their hand. So your microphone is now unmuted.
Hi, is this me?
Yes.
Oh. Yeah, this is Gary from Wales.
Hi, hi Gary.
Nevada. Hi, Anelia. To better appreciate this amazing time we're living through, I'm hoping you can help me sort out a few things having to do with the energetic history on this planet.
Mhm.
You mentioned the awareness of new energies on this planet being pioneered in America and have located in California. And to briefly frame my question here, I graduated high school in California in the mid-'60s, and from the mid-'60s to the mid-'70s, California was like a wonderland of consciousness.
Yeah.
You know, for me, there was a steady stream of teachers from India traveling through California, as well as Native American elders sharing their heritage with us. Teachers from India presented the idea of yugas and Gaia, and Hopi elders presented the idea of worlds and Mother Earth, saying that we're leaving, Hopi saying that we're leaving the fourth world and entering the fifth, which they call an age of ether. And I thought this energy was going to take us to a new reality at the time, so I was kind of shocked when the energy began to fade and became completely ground again as we entered the 80s, the 1980s. Yeah. It's taken 35 years to get back to the hope of that energy returning.
Yes.
So my question is twofold. I'm really curious of how long Gaia has been disconnected or offline or asleep with this planet, and could you lend a big picture perspective here, kind of what the history of these enormous, cycles, and here we are right in the midst of a new reality coming in, a new age or a new world or cycle. It's just amazing to me, to be right in the middle of this, and I want to appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. It's very interesting that you should mention what happened in the 60s and 70s, because basically what happened was that the movement was hijacked. California was hijacked. Right? And
that's my feeling.
Yes. And from going from that powerful energy of expansion, it was hijacked and made into a very material, egoistic type energy of the self and material goods and all those things, right? It became very dense. But that had a two-side effects, and the California is hit, and it continues to be hit very, very strongly to keep it down, to keep all this energy down, right? But it can't, of course. Can't keep it down. And what that's the reason why so many workers that came here to do this shift and to be part of it feel so tired and battle weary, because the whole lower vibration has been elongated for so long now, so many decades, when there's other timelines, and the natural progression would have been that energy that began then, or it didn't begin then, but it's kind of exploded into the consciousness then, to grow. I mean, can you imagine where we would be today as a species in this moment of shifting and gelling into the new reality if that hadn't been hijacked? it would be just explosive. It would be just amazing. However, it did open certain doors, because when that artificial manipulation of darkness came in, the counter of it also had to come in, because that's part of how things work on the planet, or in this reality, I should say. It has to be countered with something of equal energy. So the artificial influence from the higher vibration that Gaia wanted to go into also came in, and that opened the doors for this experience to be part also of many other species, because many species from different dimensions and from different planets started incarnating here en masse, right? From other planets and dimensions that were of a more subtle vibration. And now they have the opportunity to that huge expansion at their species level. So it's been good in overall, but it's been hard. It's been hard for everybody here on the planet, right? It's been a long haul, and the question with regards to Gaia and how long she has been disconnected, the information that I have on that is that in order for the duality, patriarchal or power over others, or abuse of power reality to be experienced at a planetary level, she had to disconnect then. So it would have been a few thousand years ago. I don't exactly know, because I honestly don't have a good handle on time-space. But it's basically the length of the patriarchal paradigm. That's how long it was disconnected. Obviously connected again a few years back. And
really?
In 2010 it came in fully online. And
I was wondering if considering the idea that it might have something to do with specific agreement or actions on the part of the collective at some point. But you're saying it happened to allow the patriarchal experience or cycle to
begin.
To manifest. Huh?
Yeah, and that was a collective agreement, of course. That was a collective agreement.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're both true then.
Yeah, they're both true, because to have that experience, it was a collective decision to have it, and that's why it was manifested by us here on the planet. Yeah.
That's great.
Thank you. Thank you for those wonderful questions.
All
right. Bye. Anything written on the Q&A page, Daniela, that we want to answer?
I'll just have a look. Oh, someone asks whether they can just donate their creations to the Global Ascension Center.
Yes, definitely. I'm going to do both. I'm going to put something in for 50%, and I'm going to donate something 100%.
Oh, wow.
So the meditation we're going to create will be 100% donation, and then the talks will be 50%. So, yeah.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, I love all the meditations. Let's see. Some of them have been kind of technical questions about the website, so I'm just replying to those myself by email.
Oh, here's a good one. Oh, I just scrolled out of it.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Okay, where was it? Okay, so I was reading it, and I've scrolled out of it. I really apologize to the person who wrote it if I don't completely give you... Oh, here it is. I found it. Okay, so this is Brian, and he says, "Hi, Inelia and everyone. In your book on Ascension, you write that Ascension should not be thought of as shifting out of 3D to a higher dimension, but as bringing higher awareness into 3D. Since you also write some people will stay fully with 3D awareness and will engage in oppression, conflict, pollution, but that we will have the option not to play in that game. My question is, how will we be able to coexist? Okay, there's a slight misunderstanding here, because the third dimensional existence doesn't necessarily have to be a dual light-dark existence. Okay, so what's happening is we will have a more when we bring our awareness, our higher awareness into the third dimensional existence experience. In other words, we become more aware of this three-dimensional existence or paradigm, and our physical bodies, our emotional bodies, our subtle bodies, and also expand our awareness into higher dimensions. We don't stop seeing the 3D dimension. We don't stop experiencing a 3D, but it's a different experience. It's an experience which is empowered. It's an experience where we manifest and we choose consciously what we want to experience here. Now, the difference between a dual third-dimensional experience and an empowered third-dimensional experience is that one of them is where we are basically asleep and take all of our decisions unconsciously, or sometimes guided by our higher self, if that higher self can get through to us. And the empowered 3D experience is where we know we're making choices. We know we are choosing and agreeing with or disagreeing with other people's, or what we experience as other people's experience here. So basically this is how, and no, we cannot coexist between a dual light-dark third dimensional experience and an empowered, fully being full custodians or full stewardship of our own existence here on the planet. That cannot coexist. And that's why that split happened last summer. And that's why energetically it happened already. And that's why when people live out their natural lives here, who want to continue on a dual experience, will no longer be able to incarnate in Gaia, with Gaia and with us. They will no longer be able to, not because we don't want them, but simply because the vibration here will be so high that they will not be able to stay asleep. So if they choose to continue on a dual sleepy experience, they will need to have an experience elsewhere where the vibration will be lower so that it doesn't wake them up. So that, I hope that answers your question about the difference between a 3D experience and a dual experience, and how we have a different dual experience as a 3D here life, right? So yeah, that was a really good question. I like that. All of them are very good, but some of them I can answer, some of them I can't, or some of them are technical. So yeah. Okay, let's take some callers now.
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, we've got a few hands raised. So the first one is calling from Capistrano Valley, California. Oh. Where's it gone? Sorry. Yeah, so I've just unmuted your microphone.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi. Hello?
Oh, hi, yes, we can hear you. What's your question?
Okay, well, it's not really a question. I want to express my gratitude to you, Ileana, for the work that you are doing, and how inspiring it has been for me, because I am in this wave of creating a space, a community, and when I start putting it out there, I check your website, and the time that you start to send information about the healing center. So it was a really strong confirmation for me that what I'm doing is my call, and that is supported by spirit. So I just want to express my gratitude for what you're doing.
Awesome. Well, you're welcome, and thank you for what you're doing. This is great.
Yeah.
And a perfect example, isn't it, of how...
Yeah,
Yeah, the call went out and you answered it.
Yeah, and it's exciting because I open up and I start sending out, and I start finding people who are interested in doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I can feel that perhaps we could even place a part of the website for people to find each other that want to collaborate in setting up their local centers.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah. Okay. We'll make a note of that. And
yeah, because I'm looking for more connections to support what I am called to create too.
Yeah.
And I really like the idea of the exchange of donations. And I had 2 paintings that were gifted to me, and I had them in storage, so I'm feeling like one needs to be donated to you guys, but I don't know the price. I need to find out the value of it.
Right. Yes, that's important. Yeah, that you set the right price for it. Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome, and thank you so much too. And many blessings.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Right, so the next person with their hand raised is calling from Chicago. It says the name is Freed, but that could be a surname.
Right, you're online?
Hi, Inelia, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, good. This is Nicole.
Hi, Nicole.
Hi. So I had a question about the firewall to instantaneous manifestation. And the question was, if we do move into that space of instantaneous manifestation, will all of our remaining negative thoughts manifest instantaneously?
That's a really good question, because that's where the process, your fear exercise comes in. That is really good. You really have to process that fear. And also this, I'm hoping that we'll be able to take out these 2 the actual meditation or the exercise that we did today. And when you do it, that resistance, that fear will be connected to that, so that you can actually do both at once.
Okay.
Yeah. And but yeah, this is something that we definitely have to address, the fear of manifesting things that are negative. And when we process that fear, we actually realize that the instant manifestation is very much connected with our higher self. It's one of the reasons why a lot of people don't get instant manifestation when they want a beautiful home or a partner or whatever. It's because they are not really addressing the true desire, or what they really want. So many people will say, okay, I want a beautiful home, but what they really want is to be happy, right? And they think this is going to give it to them. And that's part of that wall, because we're putting our source of happiness outside of ourselves, right? And it's like, okay, if I get that home, I'm going to be happy. And maybe they will for a little while, but then they'll go back to their original state. And sometimes we think, well, if I manifest a partner who will evolve with me, then, and my equal, then I'll be happy, right? But what the person doesn't realize is that they have to be happy first, and then manifest a partner who they can share that happiness with, who is equal to them in that happiness, right? So yeah, there's loads of things about manifestation, but one of them, precisely what you mentioned, that fear of manifesting the negative things instantly. And also thinking, well, if you manifest a demon in your room right now, you can also instantly unmanifest that.
Okay.
So yeah,
helpful.
Yeah. So definitely process the fear around that. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for that reminder.
Thank you.
All right.
And the next caller, it just says unknown, but it's a guest calling from Skype. So your microphone is now unmuted.
Hi, if you're on Skype and you have your hand up, you can speak now. We can't hear anything. Oh, hi, there you are. We can hear you.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello, Inelia. Fantastic to talk to you.
You welcome here.
Thank you. Inelia, I have a question about someone who's chosen the lightworker path. How does someone know if they should be a healer or what profession they should follow? The reason I'm asking this is because I recently finished a course as a bioenergy healer, and I've been doubting it really as to what exactly is this what I should follow. And I've been searching for symbols in my dreams, and I've been meditating on this, and I've been talking to my guides, but getting muddled answers and all kinds of things. I'm feeling strongly at the moment that I'm really being tested, or I feel that I'm being like there's a pause button, that though the future there's no real future kind of thing. I can't really see it. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, so there's two things here. One of them, you're not going to be tested by anybody or anything, okay? You have complete authority over your decisions. And the other thing is that, do you feel joy and passion when you do this work?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah? Okay.
I've only started, but I've had some fantastic success. But it's just, someone actually said to me that they know other people who have done this course and worked as healers, and they became sick themselves. The healers became sick, and this threw me.
And
this threw me down. So.
And when you do the healing, have you become sick yourself or not?
No.
Okay.
Not at all. The opposite.
There's one of the things that happens. Sometimes a healer will learn a methodology of healing, but there will be one essential mistake that they will be making, and that is that they start using their own energy to heal. Right? Okay. When in fact, you want a healer, in order to stay completely healed in themselves and full of energy at all times, is that they move out of the way and allow source to come through them into the tool or method that they're using, and allow source to do the healing, or not healing, right? Whatever it is that source needs to do that moment to do it. We just step out of the way and allow that energy of source to come through us, so we become the conduit and the tool using those methodologies in order to allow that to happen on a 3D level. But it is not something we do ourselves or use our own energy for. So I wouldn't worry about it. And if anytime you become tired after sessions or you start getting sick, review what you're doing and see where did it happen? When did I step in rather than allow source to do its work? And you should be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
thank you very much for that.
You're welcome. And then if in 10 years' time or in 2 years' time or in 10 months' time, you decide, you know what, this is not enough, I'd like to do more, then follow that through as well. Follow it through. And follow that joy and that expansion. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. One last thing, I'd just like to say thank you so much for your Ascension course. I've been working through for the last few months, and it's really helped.
Awesome. You're welcome.
So,
you're welcome.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Let's have a look at the text ones.
Okay.
See if there's anything there. Okay, so the one that I can see here is one about from Tina, who says that I shall read it. Hi, Inelia. I love your work and your teachings. It really resonates with me, and usually it is great, but sometimes in practice it doesn't work. For example, I have a boyfriend who I really love, and I wish him all the best, and he's now working on a ship and has problems with his boss, and he's not enjoying it so much as he could. I know that it's not my duty to help him, but still, what can I do? Can I send him positive energies, thoughts, light, and love? Will this help somehow? Thank you so much. Well, this is it, you see. If you think this doesn't work because it's not influencing him directly, it's because the new paradigm is about the person helping themselves. So if he did the exercises, then they might work on him, right? So that's right. It's not, although It is not your duty to help him. This is how it will work for you. You are being affected by what's happening to your boyfriend, right? So no, it's not about sending him energy or thoughts or light and love. It's about looking at where the effect comes in you. So you have to look at yourself and say, what is the energy there? So, for example, I feel helpless with regards to my boyfriend. Where's the energy of helplessness, and process that, okay? And then also maybe frustration. Why can't I help him? All right, so look at frustration. Where is that? And do the work in yourself, your own energies in your own body, what's coming up. Because he's in your reality, and anything that affects you in your own body, you have the power to change. And as you change your own reactions and energies within you, this will immediately reflect in your environment, which includes him. So I hope that answers your questions and makes all the tools and teachings a lot more useful for you. That will work in practice for you. All right, so let's see. Have you found any more there that we could answer right away?
Yeah, there's one from a Natalia. It's got a few parts to it, but the first part is something that quite a few people email in about. She says, I have lots of fears. When I'm doing your fear processing exercise, I can't find the fear. So how does she process it? Okay, so learn how to do the fear processing exercise. And then when the fear comes up live during the day, that's when you do it. Okay, so that's how to address that one. Ah, right. Okay, yeah. So you could be walking down the street and the fear pops in and you can do it while you're walking. Exactly. Ah, yeah. That's even good for me to know, because sometimes I'll be sitting there trying to force myself to do the fear processing exercise, and well, to be honest, I do write them down first, and then when I think of them, they can pop up. But no, this helps too.
So there's one here from Diane. It says, hello, Inelia. Could you please give a bit more details as to how you envision the center? Why not just purchase a beautiful piece of land in the Northern California and get started ASAP? Also, could you start a separate mailing list for those of us actually interested in working at the Global Ascension Center? All right. So we have a new team member at the Global Ascension Center project, and her name is Marianne, and she's actually putting together a way in which individuals who want to volunteer or work at the center can register what they will be offering. So that's coming. It will be there soon. So thank you for that question. And why not just purchase a beautiful piece of land in Northern California and get started ASAP? Because we can't get into a debt situation. We can't really get a mortgage, because that will involve the debt energy in the center. And there's two trains of thought there, that if we actually join the center into the present debt paradigm that's on the planet, we can heal it. But this is not the center's job. This is something we can do ourselves. We can personally heal our debts and heal our connection with money ourselves. What we need to do is basically buy it outright, so that we can do the other work of the center, which is basically to join Gaia and the collective at a very physical and energetic level in one location, right? One location on the planet, which will then connect to all the other locations that people are doing exactly the same at. And so basically that's it. We need to have the process of conception, pregnancy, birth, and growth within our manifesting reality constructs. And although it's going to be a lot faster than we might even have thought, It's something, a process that the collective, as the group, wants to experience. They want to have that experience through time of becoming part of the co-creative process, of setting up their energy or our energy into it, and having the time space of exploration, finding the location, paying for the location, building or fixing what's there, and then building more. And then the entire process has been requested through a time period. And obviously that's changing, and it will continue to change, right? As we move in, then when we have other centers attached to this one, we will be able to instantly manifest those, right? So, or not. It all depends on what we decide to do. But yeah, there's a process that the person or the collective sometimes needs, and that's also part of that wall. That need to have the process through a time period is also part of that wall, which we've been looking at and processing today. And if you weren't there, then for that process, when you click back and listen to the recording of this Q&A, you will see the meditation we did on this wall that is a wall to instant manifestation. So thanks for that. All right, so shall we take a couple of calls? Oh, we've run out of time.
Oh, okay.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so we'll just take a couple more calls and then call it a day.
Yeah, okay. So the next person that had their hand raised is calling from Payson. So your microphone is now unmuted.
Right.
Hi, Inelia.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, thank you.
I have a question I would love to have you explain. There's another channeler that seems to think or understand at the end of 2012, everyone on the planet will have a singularity event where we connect with our higher self. And for some, it will just be a blip. For others, it will be quite an experience, depending on where they're at. And maybe there's even a chance for those that understand unity consciousness to go to 6th dimensional level. What do you think on that?
It's definitely in the books, and it's definitely a possibility. And yes, there are no limits, but we don't need that blip or that moment. We can do it now. Okay, that's the difference. There will be like a big boom of energy, but it's not. It's like growing steadily. It's not one moment, but it's basically growing steadily, and at any moment, and whatever dimension we choose to go to really has no limit, right? So yeah.
All right, so we can just be doing that just right now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Waiting or working towards that event.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Right, and the next person that had their hand raised is phoning from Tallahassee, Florida. Your microphone is now unmuted.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, thank you.
I got your app on the iPhone and I started working on the Ascension process. And when I was doing one of the exercises, the one in which you contact yourself in the future, I wasn't able to see anything, feel anything, or anything like that. So I understand I need to process my resistance or something like that. I've been working on that, but is there anything else that you can advise to unblock things?
Yes, definitely. There's a firewall. So process, I can't see anything. So write that down, I can't see anything, and then feel where it is in your body.
Okay.
Right? And then process that. And then also, sometimes a person will communicate not so much through visuals, but through feelings or hearing. And the other thing that will loosen it up is to think about it as a daydream. Okay, this is just going to be my first one is going to be just a daydream. I'm going to daydream it, okay? It's not going to be, quote, real, unquote. And that sometimes loosens everything up and we can get in there and do it.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right. So we have reached the end of our time, and so what we're going to do next, basically, we're going to open all the lines so everybody can say bye-bye and I love you. All right. So can you do that, Daniela?
Yeah. So everyone is now.
Oh, no.
Thank you. We love you.
I love you. I love everyone.
Bye-bye.
That's Inelia. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Love you.
Love you.
Big hug.